Randy here with USA1 Industries. I want to show you a couple of products of ours and this dash of a 1984 Chevrolet truck that's been restored by a local customer of ours. The dash pad here I actually assisted on installing, so I want to give you a few pointers to help you out when you're installing one of these. The first point is definitely get you some help. So you don't want to try to tackle this by yourself. The dash pad gets heavy after a while trying to hold it up and get everything lined up. So get somebody in the driver's seat, somebody in the passenger seat. What you want to do first is, I'm not on that side, but just giving you the general gist over here, is you'll have the 6 clips installed on the bottom side of it, and you'll want to go pretty much straight in at this point to be able to clear these pillar moldings right here. Once you actually get straight in and you get the 6 clips engaged, it will take some force to get that thing to seat all the way back. You'll run your finger right here on the bottom side, and where these screws go in, you won't be far enough back. So take some pressure, use some rags, push it in there, get it seated real good. One thing that we've had a few customers on the telephone point out to us, the original dash pads right here, the thickness of the actual pad was a little bit thinner than what these aftermarket pads are. This is one of the vinyl pads, not urethane, but the thickness right here is probably about double. What that creates is an issue to where you can't get the dash pad pushed far enough back and sandwiched in between the steel dash and the post molding right here like it's supposed to be. So what I did is we got it in there. We already had it pre-trimmed from when we did the die process on this, but I just took a razor blade and I cut it off nice and smooth right there to where it has a nice finished look to it. So as you can see, the appearance and the fitment and everything is right in line with what factory would look like. Nobody really knows that it's not all the way pushed back in there in between the steel dash and the post molding. Point out a couple of other things for you. On this side right here, which is much harder to actually get lined up, the pointers that I can give you here is, of course, you'll have your tilt down. Go ahead and turn your ignition switch on, pull your gear shift lever down while you've got the instrument bezel just kind of out here free floating. You'll have the dash pad seated down. What you want to do is get this pushed back. When you're putting the screws in, that's really the trick to getting this seated and to have really nice lines all the way around. You want to push here on these 2 points right here on the dash, get it pushed back to where you can't put your finger in between the dash and the lens. A lot of people, they go putting these things in, and when they start to run the Phillips head screws into the actual steel dash or the plastic housing behind there, what they do is they start, and this plastic dash will be all the way out here to the lip. So you're tightening that screw, never use a drill or any kind of electric screwdriver, just use a regular screwdriver. You'll wind up pulling the head of the screw actually through the plastic dash, and at that point you're pretty upset. So the best way to get this thing installed, you got it seated, you got this pushed back as far as you can get it pushed back. You put this in, you get it. Sometimes it's a little pain to get over the headlight knob. Get that person that's helping you or whatever to assist, because I've snapped off the blower switch right here a couple of times, and it's also a pain to get around the headlight knob. Get it seated back, and then start with this top left screw here and this bottom right screw right here. And what that will do is that'll get you pretty lined up. You only want to run those in about 60%. Don't run them all the way in until you get them all started. So this one right here, there is a clip that you have to install into the dash pad. It's a U-shaped clip that actually slides onto the dash pad, the meat of the dash pad right there, and that's what gives you a hole to actually go through and actually grab onto something, because there's no hole in the steel dash, there's no hole in the actual the gauge cluster. So you have to put a clip on right there, put a clip on right here. Every other contact point has something to actually screw to. These are actually two of the most important because that's what's going to hold all this together and get you a nice uniform fit. I go to car shows all the time and guys have installed these things, and I can stick my finger between the instrument bezel and the dash pad up here. This one right here I've got fitted up real nice, just like factory. Right here as well, you've got nice lines, no big old gaps in between the instrument bezel and the dash pad. So you got it pushed back, you got the screws started here and here. Keep on pushing, get those about 60% of the way tightened up. Move and work off the angles at that point. Get this top right one, push down with one hand, push in with another hand, and start your screw in and get it until it's pulled up tight. Remember not to over tighten because you'll actually pull through. So that's where you're going to need your help, because it takes about 3 hands to get all those lines real nice. Over here on the far driver's side, same thing. You got to push down, push back, get that screw started, push in, and get this screw started. So right here on this dog leg that comes off of this dash pad, GM on the far passenger side had a screw on that side. For whatever reason, they did not put a screw on this side. Sometimes if it really wants to flare out right here, I will actually take a punch, push through the vinyl of the dash pad, and put a matching screw on this side. You don't have to do that, but if it's being a pain and it makes it easier, you can. That way to actually get it pulled in nice and tight, it's that clip, pull down, push in, and push in right here, and actually put that screw in right there, and that's what's going to hold everything, because there's nothing, the screw doesn't go through the pad, there's nothing right there to hold that little dog leg in, so sometimes it wants to flare out on you. So that's the best way to get a uniform line. Once you get all this stuff installed, you can step back and you've got a beautiful dash installed in an 81, 87 Chevrolet truck. Don't think it's going to happen in 10 minutes because it does take a little bit of time. Get some help, some patience, and give us a call if you need any assistance. Randy with USA1 Industries. Thanks.